Good morning and happy Thursday, October 8th. We are talking all about your gut bacteria. So, inside of your stomach and more even inside of your intestines are this microbiome, this microscopic group of living things, these bacteria, which actually help you. And so, we'll talk into details about what that looks like, why we have it, and then what can go wrong or well with it. Um, so you'll be uh, working on the attendance task today. You'll finish that first, and then 4 more pages of your notebook. So go ahead and pause and do the attendance task. Come on back. So we're going to start here on page 12 of your notebook is where you should be at. If you're not, you should pause and finish up everything above before you continue. So go back to previous days. Um, so we're going to compare an ecosystem with this gut microbiome. And this is a box shape, but it really is a Venn diagram, with the circles where they overlap. So it's going to be unique to ecosystems, unique to our gut, and then things that they share in common. But we're just going to do number 1 of this first. Okay. So it says use the visual to predict characteristics of each the ecosystem in the microbiome. So here's our visuals. We have a forest ecosystem. All right, and this is what is behind Park High School. This is trees and animals and plants and dirt. So you're going to talk about what you know about that versus the human microbiome. So we have all the different parts of the body, and then this is all names of bacteria. All right, that live on your skin or inside of your body. And so the first thing you need to do is just from those 2 visuals, what do they have in common? A forest and then the bacteria on your body and in your body. And then what's unique? And so maybe 1 or 2 for each. So go ahead and pause, fill out those, and come on back. So the a forest ecosystem, one thing that you should have noticed and thought about is that it's all working together to keep it healthy. So that would be a commonality because this is what the bacteria on your body and in your body do, is they all work together to keep us healthy. Now, unique obviously would be this one's microscopic. You can't see it. Whereas ecosystem, most of a forest you can see. The other one might be, this forest ecosystem. It has increased like diversity, lots of different, like probably hundreds, maybe even thousands of different organisms, whereas the human body might have 100, something like that, of a different bacteria that might live on our skin and in our bodies at one time. So there's some hints there. So now we're going to read the texts and eventually come back up here. So on your notebook, it says to do number 2, but I want to come back to it because it kind of has a better way to go through it by summarizing it. So first question is, looking at these 2 forest ecosystems, this one is without human interference, and this one's, here's some humans, and you can visually see the difference. Which one is more resilient, which means healthier? And how do you know? So pause and write down your thoughts. Which of these 2 is better, healthier? And we're going to compare that now to in your body. There's not a space for it, but here we have, remember C. diff yesterday? Way off balance in terms of the bacteria inside of their gut. And so that's the unhealthy forest ecosystem, where a lot of the good stuff has been chopped down. All right, and now this happens because of what we eat, maybe antibiotic use, but a lot of it is just based on our diet, and even stress and environmental factors like that can change the stuff that lives inside of you. And then here's a healthy donor, which just means it's a healthy gut ecosystem. You can see the diversity and the balance of it. So now we're going to read these, And excuse me, as you go, you'll be thinking about comparing a forest to a gut. So read this one and then write a sentence, and then read this one and write a sentence. Go ahead and pause and do some reading, highlighting, and summarizing. Okay, so now we can go up to the Venn diagram again, the boxes, and we can fill in, more of confirm and modify, maybe even contradict your predictions. So using text, add 1 or 2 to each box. Okay. Let's look at this table. This talks about 4 different studies of using fecal transplants to treat these infections of the intestines. And the success rate is very high in terms of remaking their ecosystem diverse and healthy. And yesterday, at the end of the notebook yesterday, you read about how, because fecal transplant, that is not something that everybody would want to do, but if it was a pill, almost like taking probiotics, like people do now, if there was this sort of success rate, I think it would be a very popular thing. All right. Our last thing today is the Hadza microbiome. So there is a group of people who are indigenous to north central Tanzania. All right. So here's the Wikipedia page about them, and they, based on their history, based on their diet and how they eat, they have an ideal microbiome. Scientifically, it's ideal. So I want you to read about their microbiome, and then some of the ideas that we have about should we all get fecal transplants from a Hadza donor. They have a lot less disease. You can see comparing. The average American, a 10% chance of type 2 diabetes, body mass index of 29, lots and lots of cardiovascular, so heart disease, and high blood pressure, and compare that with the Hadza. All right, so read this, highlight as you go, and you're imagining, should we all get a fecal transplant? Should we all get the microbiome of a Hadza donor? Go ahead and pause, read, and summarize. Okay, so before we fill out this evidence and all the way to should we make a decision on should we do this, the microbiome in humans is responsible for so many important things. It's been connected to your immune system. It's been connected to your mental health. It's been connected to your mood. And this is why if anybody knows about the kind of craze of probiotics, or people kimchi and kombucha, all of these fermented foods, they're all designed for digestive health. And so scientifically, we're finding more and more evidence that how your gut bacteria, how your microbiome is affects many other features of your health. So with that in mind, if you want to research more before you make your claims here, feel free. But from the text above, evidence that supports the claim that we should all get a Hadza microbiome going. And then it's, things that, that support that, why you think that. What's your logic behind this claim? And then from above, or from your own research, what would refute the claim? Why shouldn't we all get a transplant to have the Hadza microbiome? And then what's your logic there? So you want to be able to argue both sides, because it is one that there is 2 sides to this debate. All right, at this point, we're stopping the notebook for today. I did post for my class and for Mr. Rao's class, the final project is about bacteria resistance. It's not due until next week, but I know some people want to get a jump on things and kind of have things done. So if you have questions, find me or email me. I'm in room 137 if you're here at school. If you're at home, you can reach out. Email is ewang@sawashco.org. Have a fantastic day.